Okay, this is the same thing that you've done before. It just has two of them now. So there's only one really key thing you've got to know. It has to work for both equations. It has to work for both equations. If it doesn't work for both, it doesn't work. So I'm gonna do it graphically, and then I'm gonna show you algebraically. So let's start with this one. We're gonna just graph one line at a time. Okay, what's my y-intercept on this one? Yeah, -2. What's my slope? Yeah, so up 1 over 2. Up 1 over 2. Solid or dashed? Solid. Draw me a line. Now, I'm going to shade it, but I'm going to shade it very lightly because this is you're going to want to shade lightly for this step, and we'll shade more later. Am I going to shade above or below? Above. So I'm going to put skinny lines and not that many of them because we have to shade for two different lines. Okay? I'm going to grab me some gum. Okay, so the next step is, what's my y-intercept for the second equation? 3, exactly. Yeah, that's 3. What's my slope? What's our slope, y'all? Good. What's the same about these two lines? They're the same slope. What kind of lines have the same slope? Parallel lines. They will never cross. On this second line, am I shading above or below? Below. So you can see why I'm shading lightly. I'm actually going to grab a second color to just make it a little easier for y'all to see. Now it has to work for both of them. So where do they both overlap? In the middle. So this is the part I'm going to shade fat. This is the part that's our answer. Okay? So I'm going to put a fat smiley face right here. Frowny face, frowny face. Now I'm only going to do this for this problem because it takes a lot of time, but it's not that hard. I'm going to show you how to test. Give me a point that's in the answer solution. Give me any point that's in the answer solution. 0, 0, I like the way you think. Easy as possible. So we're going to check and see if 0, 0 works for these equations. We're going to just check each equation individually. So I'm going to say 0, 1/2 times 0 minus 2. What's 0 times a half? Is 0 bigger than or equal to -2? It is, right? Owing nobody versus owing $2, this is better. So that works for the first equation. We then have to check it in the second equation to make sure it works for that one too. So I would go 0, 0 plus 3. Is 0 less than 3? Yes. So it works for both equations. Does that make sense? So it's the same thing we did for the first 4 examples. You just have to do it twice because you're checking for a system. Does that make sense? Do you need me to pause for a second so you can write it all down? Okay. All right. When you're ready, help me graph the first equation on number 10. What's my y-intercept? Hey, Christian. You can borrow mine. It's from a different class. That's why I was asking if you're having a hard time keeping up, you could borrow mine. Okay. So what's my y-intercept on number 10, y'all? -2. Put a dot. Are there any x's? So that means it's like 0x, which means my slope is flat, like the horizon. Solid or dashed? Put the arrows on. Put the arrows on. Am I shading above or below on this one? Below. So again, I'm going to go light until I know which part is the answer for everything. But I'm going to put enough shading that I can tell what it is, because I don't want to have to do this twice. You with me? Okay. What's my y-intercept on this equation? -1. What's my slope? -1/1, yeah. So go down 1, right 1. Down 1, right 1. Solid or dashed? Good, dashed. Okay, I'm with you. Above or below? Below. Where do they overlap? Can you see that they're overlapping here? And then I'm purposely going to kind of leave a space from that because we're not allowed to use that dashed line. Does that make sense? Can't use the dashed, can use the solid. Of course you can. Okay, so I've got a question for you. If we have the point 4, 3, can I use that? Is that in my answers? Okay, 4, 3 puts us here. Is that in my answer? No. What about if we did 2, -3? Can I use that? It's on the dash line, so we can't. Okay, what about, can we use -4, -1? Nope, can't use that. Give me something we can use. Yep, we can use that. So this is the only one that we can use. Does that make sense? Ready for the last two? Okay. Let's roll. What's my y-intercept? -3. Boom. Good news is you don't have to graph these yourself. They're already graphed. You just have to Steven, do you seriously have a second phone?
You want the fifth one as well?
All of them. I just saw you. Whatever you have, let's go.
I was turning my music down. That was it.
Let's go. Thank you. Okay. What's my slope for this one?
2.
Almost. Yep. So we're going to go down 2, right 3. So that's negative 2 over 3. That's why it's down and to the right. Okay. You can also think of it as a positive over a negative. You can put the negative on the top or the bottom. We usually put it on the top. But that would flip it to up and left. So you'd go up 2, left 3. And you can see how that's still on the line. Solid or dashed, y'all?
So,
Above or below?
above.
Good. What's my y-intercept? Yeah, sorry, for the next one? 2. There's like a streak of light on our projector.
No, then we close the blind.
Do you think that's from the blinds? I think it's from a crack that you can't close, like between the blinds, you know what I mean? Or is it from the floor where it's reflecting?
I don't think we can reflect from the floor from the blinds.
Okay, we can play with it later. What's my slope? Just 1, right? Up 1 over 1. Solid or dashed?
Solid.
Good. I'm going to try to move it out of the super bright zone. Okay, and then am I shading above or below this guy?
Above.
Above. So we want the part where they're overlapping. So this is the kind of thing, tomorrow we're going to be doing the story problem ones that are real life. But this is the kind of thing where you have like a business and this is how much it costs for production. You want to go ahead and put that on silent?
Yeah.
Thank you. Like production, and this is how much you're going to make in profit, and you want to make sure you're someplace that you can both work. Okay, y'all, what's your y-intercept for number 12? The first one.
2.
Good, 2. What's our slope? It's just 1, so up 1 over 1. Solid or open? Dashy dash. It's not that good of a dash line, but okay. What's our y-intercept? Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to shade. Above or below? Below. Yeah. Basically, you do above if the little alligator is eating Y, and you do below if it's not. What's our y-intercept for our second equation? What's our y-intercept, y'all? Thank you. Okay, and then it's going to be down to right 3 or up to left 3. Solid or dashed?
Dash.
Dashed, which means we can't use those lines. Are we shading above or below? On the second line? We're shading above, right? Okay, so we're going to use this area. Okay, I didn't make you do points for the last two, but I would like you to do the following. I would like you to put a smiley face in the part we can use, and frowny faces in all the places we cannot use. Just to remind yourself what you can and can't use. And that's it, y'all.